Hello, hello. Welcome. If this is your first time seeing my face, welcome. If you've seen my face before, welcome back. I hope you're doing good. Today I just wanted to do a bit of a casual story time, or maybe mini story time, about some of the things that have gone wrong as I've been traveling the world. I am traveling the world, slow traveling the world to be more precise. I quit my job 8 months ago now to travel the world. Well, not to travel the world, but to not work and to do other things, do and learn other things apart from work. And one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to travel to places that I had never been before, learn things that I've always wanted to learn, etc., and just learn to live without working. And I took a year career break or sabbatical, and so I'm talking to you today. I'm actually in Malaysia, in Southeast Asia. It is my 5th country here on this trip, and so I have been traveling full-time. When I say full-time, I mean back to back to back, not going home or going to the city I started from, since like over 5.5 months now. And I have so much great stories, so much that I've learned from this place, is so much good. That's where my mind always goes, because I'm a positive person. I'm an optimist. That's the word I'm trying to say. I'm an optimist, and so my mind, or my brain, is kind of rigged to only think about the good things and to like brush everything as good. Everything's great, it's been awesome. And so I had to actually sit down to say, hey, what are some of the things that went wrong on my trip, or that went bad on my trip? And so I just wanted to casually chat with you all about it today as I reflect on my trip, and lots more to come, lots more good highlights, where I've been, good stuff to come. But today I just wanted to talk about some of the rough things that happened during my trip, and I hope you enjoy the stories and learn from them, laugh at them. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling like, just sitting to do a casual chat about today. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to share is I'm doing them in no particular order, but one of the things that happened is that I missed my boss to Switzerland again, in France. So what am I talking about? First of all, it has happened to me before. I think that's the craziest thing. 6 years ago in 2019, I was in France visiting, and I tried to take a bus. Was it a bus? No, it was a train. It was a train. I missed my, no, it was a bus. It was a bus both times. Oh my god. Okay, 6 years ago I tried to take a bus from, I think I was in Lille. No, was I in Lille? I don't even know where I was from. I'm sure it won't be too hard to find, but some part of France. I was trying to say, no, I was in Lyon. Okay, doesn't matter. I was somewhere in France, and I was trying to take a bus to Geneva. That's why I'm thinking it doesn't matter. My brain is like, check, but no, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I was trying to take a bus to Geneva from France, and I missed the bus. And how did I miss the first bus 6 months ago? 6 months ago, I just couldn't find the station. Like, I was at the station. Oh, maybe I was in Paris. Gosh, it doesn't matter once again. I was at the station. It was so huge, so overwhelming. I knew I was in the vicinity. I kept on like trying to ask for help, like, is it that way, is it that way? I was in the vicinity, and I didn't have enough time, and somehow I missed that bus. And how I solved that problem was I bought the next train ticket to Geneva, and I hopped on it, and I still had my lovely day in Geneva. I met up with my friend. It was lovely, but it happened 6 years ago. Now on this sabbatical, once again in September, I was trying to go from France again, another city, this time in the Alsace region of France. I was trying to go from there to Basel, another part of Switzerland as well. and I had pre-booked a bus. This time I remember clearly, it's the Flixbus, and I show up there on time, happy, like let's head to Basel, and I had forgotten to bring my passport. So apparently you need a passport to get on the bus to cross the border. I take the train and they don't check. So they're very inconsistent. I think it depends on where you're going. I've taken the train from France to Spain. I've taken the train across borders and it's not been checked. I've taken some buses, it hasn't been checked. Anyway, I was trying to take the bus to Basel, and this bus driver was like, your passport. I didn't have it, and I knew the bus was gonna leave in like 5 minutes. Like, I was close to the time, but I was still early, and he was like, yeah, sorry, he can't help me. And I was so bummed, and I had a picture of my passport in my phone. I tried to show him. He was like, no, actual passport, no. He was so happy to send me away, and I was so mad at myself because I had remembered, I think I remembered like earlier that morning, but I just didn't put it, I switched bags or whatever, I just didn't put it into the bag I was carrying. So that's how I missed that bus. How did I remedy this? Once again, I booked a train. I think, note to myself, whenever I'm going to Switzerland from France, I need to just book a train. I booked the train and I got on the train and I still had my lovely day in Switzerland. So I've missed 2 buses to Switzerland from France. That was rough, and I just didn't like the driver. The driver was very rude. I mean, he was doing his job and it was my fault, but I just had a really rough experience. And so that's one of my mini stories. Another thing that happened since we're talking about trains and buses, I'll just tell this story about on the train from Paris to the Alsace region again. Was it a long train ride? Doesn't matter. I think it was though. I took the train and I got comfortable. I have this little pouch, not a little, I have this good medium-sized pouch. In it I put my journal, I put my Kindle, I put some pens to journal, some earphones, some comfy socks, just some snacks. I had some dried mango fruits and some snacks that I had bought. So it's just my I love organization, so I typically always pack a pouch for inside the flight or inside the bus. So it's my in-flight entertainment, etc. So I brought it out and I put it in the sit back in front of me, and we got to my destination, and guys, I forgot it on the train. And I didn't know until the next morning when I woke up and I was looking for something in it, and I was like, wait a minute, and I ransacked my everything and it wasn't there, and I was like, oh, I know exactly where it is. It's in the sit back where I sat. And the funny thing, or not funny thing, is there was a guy older man who was sitting on the chair, on my chair actually, when I got there, and he was claiming that it's his seat, and I showed him. I was like, no, I'm window, I'm this, and he was like, oh, okay. He finally left. He got up and he had left his laptop right there, and I called him back to be like, hey, you're forgetting your laptop, and he was so thankful, and he left, and I did the exact same thing. So, well, that story did end well, to be honest. I went in and I filled in, and I was in France to learn French. So all my interactions were in French. I had to fill in a missing item report, objet trouvé, lost and found. And I had to follow up, etc. And they found my pouch. Miracles happen. So this is actually a bad thing turned good thing, because 3 weeks later, and thank goodness I was in that city for a month. I lived in France for 2 months, but thank goodness I was there long enough for them to find it, and thank goodness I went to go follow up and they had it, and I had to pay, I think it was 10 euros to get my stuff back, but my stuff were worth way more than 10 euros. And that's the process if things ever get lost for you in France. Okay. Whoa, I didn't know my stories were gonna take so long. I have a whole list and I've only talked about how many. Okay, I'll do one more. In Peru, I stayed in an Airbnb in Ica. I was only staying one night, thank goodness. And in that Airbnb, guys, the wall was so thin. Actually, maybe it wasn't even a wall. I think what separated me from the outside world was maybe just a sliding door, and then outside was the road. So cars were honking, lights were flashing, like the curtain wasn't what's the word, any shade, what is it called? Blinding. This is bad. The curtains weren't able to keep out the light outside, but there's a name for it that I can't remember. And doesn't matter, that happened. That happens. But I just felt like I was outside. And so thank goodness I always pack my eye mask and my earbuds. So I put those on, earplugs, not buds, earplugs. I put those on, and I still was able to sleep after a little while. But then I got up in the morning, ready to shower, getting ready, and there was no hot water. In fact, I got into the shower, it was still cold, and then the electricity went off. Like everything went off. There was no light anywhere, and the water turned cold. It was starting to warm up, but it turned cold. Where I was standing in the bathroom, the plumbing was really bad. It started to like fill up. So I quickly stepped out, of course, and I just wore my clothes and washed my face in the sink and packed my stuff, and I was out. She was very apologetic, but I was just like done. I didn't shower that morning, and I was going to my next destination. I only washed my face. But that was rough as well. Just the night, how noisy it was, how I felt like I was almost on the road. And then I couldn't even shower the next morning, but travel stories. And the last one, I'm gonna end on one more bus story. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 because I have a long list. I had another bus. This time I was going to Toulouse. This time I was in the south of France, and I was going to Toulouse. Oh, I was already in Toulouse. I was trying to leave Toulouse to another part of France. I think I was going back to Perpignan. Yeah, so I got on the, first of all, the bus didn't show up for 2 hours. It's strange. I'm trying to remember what bus it was. I think it might have been the blah blah bus. Anyway, it didn't show up. We were just standing there waiting, and nothing, like the time passed. It didn't show up for 2 hours, just standing and waiting, and not sure if the bus was gonna show up or not. And 2 hours later, it finally showed up, thank goodness. Again, I think what's even more crazy or important is that this was around like 10 p.m. Okay, let's say, I don't think I'd have booked a bus that late. This was maybe around 8:30 or no. I feel like it was around like, maybe the bus was supposed to leave at 9 and then it showed up at 11. I think that's what happened around then. Anyway, it was dark and late is the point. And so anyway, I waited, or we all waited, and then got on the bus 2 hours later, like 11 p.m. to head back. This trip was supposed to be like a 2 hour trip, hour and a half to 2 hour trip, not too long. Half an hour, let's say an hour into the ride, the bus driver stops in the middle of nowhere and tells us all to get off the bus and says that he's on a break. He's on break at midnight in the middle of nowhere. When I say middle of nowhere, there was no shop, no nothing, and he told us to all get off the bus. He's on his break. So we're sitting at midnight in the middle. I don't even know where I was. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I think I opened my Google Maps and maybe, I don't know, I'm not even really sure. But yeah, so we just sat outside for like half an hour. This bus driver walked away into the dark, and at midnight I was just out there in the middle of nowhere as this bus driver took his break. I mean, I'm happy, see, now reflecting, I'm happy he took his break, because I mean, would I choose an accident over being alive. But it was just rough because we had waited 2 hours for this bus and it was already like late and frustrating. But yeah, he did come back eventually, and I was able to practice my French with the people around in confusion as we were all like, what is going on? And then he came, and then I mean, I'm here, I'm alive. I left France. But yeah, those are a few of my travel stories that happened, and there's gotta be a part 2. Hey, let me know in the comments if you want a part 2. Let's do it that way. If you want to keep hearing some of the stuff that went bad during my travels, comment. Obviously I'll share the good. The good outweighs the bad, but these are some that I came up with. Okay, that's enough for today. That's long enough. I will see you in my next video. My next video is gonna be tomorrow. Why? Because I'm challenging myself to post a new video every single day for the month of January, and I have been keeping to it. Go back and watch my other videos and subscribe. And I'm so happy you're here today. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.